Hello everyone and welcome to another session of Fulari Knowledge Series. This time we talk all about Ajrakh here with Kavita, who's going to quickly guide us through the different items. Here what she's put together is an Ajrakh stole. There are two of them. The left one is actually chemical dyes and the right one has used natural dyes. So you can see the difference in the blue and the brightness. Again, a single color printing that has happened on the left one and multiple colors that have happened on the right one. Now you see the entire look of it. Both are on a fabric called as mushroom silk. So you see the back side. This fabric is slightly thicker than the modal silk. This yellow over here is actually a modal silk fabric. It's much thinner. The polishing on the mushroom silk gives it much more shine. But it is much thicker than the modal silk. The modal silk is actually, here you can see some tiny bits of splash of paint, which often happens with Ajrakh hand block printing, which is not usually seen in screen printed designs. And this is how the modal silk actually flows. It is an extremely flowy, very easy to drape fabric, and year round, be it summers or winter, it keeps you hot and cool. This is actually another modal silk dupatta, but you see the number of colors that have been used are much more. And this is the tissue zari pallu. So it's woven, the zari is woven inside the fabric. Hence, the number of colors, the zari, such things actually add up to the cost and the time that goes into making this dupatta. Hence, it will turn out to be more expensive than its counterparts. This is the entire look. The number of blocks used, the kind of fusion that is created. So, for example, this one is the bandhani, and you see that black paint, also these tiny dots. The dots are the remnants of the actual tying process that has taken place, and the black paint is just a residue of the Ajrakh block printing. And this you will always find in hand block, hand done things, which is in many ways a mark of authenticity. That's the back side. It's modal silk, so the paint actually penetrates a lot because there are quite a few pores. That's the entire look of the dupatta. So these things which require more number of things and more time end up becoming more expensive. This is a normal cotton Ajrakh printed design. This one is a single print, single color printing, again hand block. If you see the back side, a lot of the times backside also the hand blocks are done so that the colors emerge to be much better and brighter. And that's the pallu. Okay, so the different types of blocks that are used, this is the entire body. The number of blocks that are used, the number of colors actually determine the amount of time that will be taken, right? And the effort. This is a brick red, muddy red kind of a color, again on cotton. So you'd see that there is not a lot of shine on it. Obviously, the colors look much more brighter on camera or under sunlight than in reality, because all of these are natural dyes. So if you find something extremely bright, then that probably is not an Ajrakh that is done with natural dyes. Also, if you see the backside and the unevenness, that is how you would understand that that's not a screen printed Ajrakh. So even if it's cotton, it's really easy to wear and drape and doesn't really wrinkle that easily. Okay, we look at some other colors. So this is a mauve, this is a green, a normal indigo, this is a cream color with mustard, and this is the yellow, the dirty yellow, and the beige. So these are the common colors in natural dyes that are available in Ajrakh hand block printing. Here's the red, right? So anything that doesn't resemble this is probably a chemical dye and not a natural dye. The mauve is something that is very different. Here is that actual sari, that's the blouse. This is the pallu. So if you see, there is a linear pattern with different motifs, and that's the body, right? So a number of blocks have actually been used to create this particular design, and hence the effort is more. Now, Ajrakh is a 16-step process. It's very tiring, and it's very important that there is very good sunlight, because the drying is extremely important for the colors to stay fastened and they don't then bleed. And the crispness and the brightness of the fabric depends on the amount of sunlight. And this is an indigo. Now, a lot of the times, the actual minerals that are in the water also impact the natural dyes. Hence, water availability and the quality of water really determines the output that you get in Ajrakh block printing. That was the blouse, and this is the pallu. And this one is a green modal silk again. They have given it a nice black contrast blouse just with the border, and that's the pallu. And the geometric floral motif is across the body too. So in different kind of light settings, it appears to be slightly different, like changing colors, but it is all a shade of green, light green as well as dark green combined. And the modal silk fabric gives it the required shine. Now that is actually a fusion of Bandhni and Ajrakh. That was the pallu. This thing is the pallu, and this is the blouse, and this is the Bandhni that has been done. So one thing that I'll show is even the Bandhni, right? It is tied in the center, so you'd see those dots in the center are much closer. And otherwise they are nicely separated out, equidistant, but here it's quite close by. So that's the which means it's been hand tied and dyed, right? This has been roll pressed, hence it has been nicely flattened and it has regained its original size. But otherwise, Bandhni done Ajrakhs are usually crumpled. This is something that I want you to see. It's an Ajrakh print on a thicker cotton, because we've used this to create bottom wear. So again, this is a much thicker cotton, again Ajrakh hand block printed, and there are different pattas that have been used. So so that's a skirt actually with a nice 5-meter flare. This is a tukdi design, so different fabrics of Ajrakh have been combined together, fused together to create a beautiful skirt, and it gives a spectacular look with the different colors. And it's not very heavy on the eyes, it's very easy to your eyes just because of the natural muted colors that have been used. So that's all for Ajrakh today. Signing off, this is Team Fulari.